The recording has started.
I want to hear all about the concerts.
Very well. The concerts were actually a huge success as far as we can tell. The first concert, as you know, was in the eighth and ninth dimensional area, but it was piped out, if you will, to other areas of the universe and galaxy. So that first concert was the shorter of the two. It was only about an hour and 15 minutes long. But as you know, the eighth and ninth dimensionals have been growing a little bit more fond or fonder of the music that we're sending out and uh, growing a little bit more interested in it. So we see that this concert showed even a greater interest than before. There was some, they do have musical instruments on the eighth and ninth dimension, and we saw that they were bringing instruments to the concert.
Wow.
Now, this was something different. We saw about 3 or 4 different people bring instruments, at least that we didn't know what they were at first, but we noticed later that they were discussing if they could use their instruments in playing this kind of music or or involving it with this kind of orchestral development. And of course, we were very honored to understand that they would want to do that. So, first of all, well, let me back up a little bit. The concert went very well. The applause at the end of the first section, we had never received any applause before. It was all just major, just uh, movement, people moving around to get to the intermission portion. But this time there was a smattering, I would say, of what sounded like applause. And we were like looking out into the audience to see what was going on because it was like a few hands were clapping or a few sounds like hands were being sounded. And so we were looking out to see who was doing so. And well, I couldn't see anyone because the lights were too bright on the stage and it was dark in the auditorium. But there was some other kind of action after the first portion and the second portion. And it sounded almost like applause. So we're not sure exactly what it was, but it did sound like a sort of posturing for positivity. So anyway, so there's one thing, but the music came out. We've been practicing a lot in the last couple of years now, and so we're getting better and better and better. And so as practice makes perfect, as you know, the concerts are getting better. So they're getting incredibly good, and the dynamics of the concerts are getting very expanded, meaning that we're able to reach the highest highs and the lowest lows, which we were not really able to do before because we were still new at working together and still new at, you know how music is. You need to practice together in order to get it to work right. So it's working very well right now. So that first concert, we thought extremely extremely successful. And plus we put new CDs and I wrote some things to put in their library as well. I wrote a scenario with some of the other band members I had each, I had four or five, I had five of the band members also write um, their description of certain pieces of music and put them along with the music into the libraries, so that of the six major pieces of music that we did for the concert also have written um, studies of them, and written them, and what you should feel, and why it was written, and the history behind it, and what instruments were highlighted, and all kinds of different things about uh,
Wow.
about about the pieces that were highlighted. So we broke it down into all the different components that they might want to be reading about, and the history of it, etc. So that was, and we put that in the library, and I put about 4 to 6. Uh, what was it? How many copies did we put in there? We put 6 copies in, 6 copies of that into the library, so that people could take that out, and as they're listening to the concert with the CD, it's with the CD, by the way, and or with the whatever you want to call it. With it comes this written uh, sort of book.
Wow.
So
I
it,
want one.
yes, a CD with a book.
Yeah,
Yes.
want one.
And so when they get to relive the concert but with the history of it, the instruments that are being highlighted, who played the instruments, um, where the song came from, why it was written. If it was a part of an opera or something, it gives the meaning of that section. Also with the music that you two have put together, it is showing how it was created and why, and etc. So a lot of good information.
Wow. Is it really a CD or is that just something like our
Well,
CD?
I use the word CD, but it is not a CD.
Something
They
else?
have it's more like a chip. So with the chip comes this written work, and it's a written work, but it's also, you can play it on like what you would call a Kindle. So it's read to them if they want it to be, and it's all there. So
Wonderful. Did anybody take any of those?
they checked them out of the library. Yes,
All 6 of them.
I would
Wow.
no, well, 4 at a time.
Wow.
So
That's
4 we're missing out of the library the very next day.
great. Wonderful.
So, and then, all right. So, and then the second half of the concert was incredibly emotional, and I thought that it was the best work we've ever done as an orchestra. So I was very, very pleased about that. So, it and uh, the orchestra seemed to be also thrilled with their performance and with the way everything went. So we're getting better, and I believe making a greater connection with the eighth and ninth dimensional peoples. Now, the Galactic concert, which was 2 days later, was very different. Uh, there was a lot more seating. Let's put it that way. We were in a very large place, an outdoor place that was in the Cassiopean area. So they moved the concert a couple different times because they wanted it to to be seen by more and more people. So it came to an auditorium that could hold 50,000 people. So or 50,000 beings, I should say, of different shapes and sizes. So that was filled. They were able to fill that to capacity. Plus, that was also being piped out to other areas of the galaxy and universe. So, as well as the galactic meetings that were taking place around your planet,
Wow.
they stopped the galactic meetings for about 45 minutes, I think, to watch portions of the concert.
Wow.
So, let me tell you about that concert. That was actually 2 hours and 5 minutes long. So it was a much longer concert. So it brought so we brought more pieces. We brought some of the pieces that we had done from the first concerts, and more or less it was a best of orchestra concert, meaning that we decided which things were best from the previous concerts that we had done with eighth and ninth dimensionals, and we added some of the things that new things in from the new concert, and so it was a best of concert, meaning so we did all the greatest pieces that got the best responses, that the orchestra responded best to, that it just was amazing, really brilliant. So, and of course, we have performed it better than ever before because we had learned it before and been practicing it. And now for this concert, which had a lot more people sitting in the stands, if you will, that sort of adds to the excitement, don't you think?
Yeah.
And sort of adds to the way that everyone performs. Everybody puts much more energy and excitement into it when they're performing in front of a group that really appreciates music. And so this concert for the galaxy slash universe was very lively. People were playing their instruments in a much more lively fashion. So because they were feeling it a lot greater, and they were trying to push that emotion into the audience in a much greater way. Plus, they knew that the people that were there because they do appreciate music and they appreciated what we were trying to do. So it wasn't so gratifying because, yes, we did get a lot of applause there in the galactic realm, in the Cassiopean theater. So it was just an amazing time.
So
We
how
want to do.
loud was the applause?
It was very loud.
Very loud.
It was.
Could be heard through the whole universe.
Well, I don't know about that, but it could be heard through several miles on the Cassiopean planet. So it was a marvelous success. People from about, we heard different numbers, but there was 15 species there. That's a lot of species.
That's everybody, isn't it? Of the galaxy.
No, well, that's all of the biggies plus, maybe one or two of the lesser ones. But there's much more than 15 species out here. So there's hundreds. But the ones that can appreciate what we were doing were all there. Yes. We were very happy that they were so inclined to come. And plus, it was being piped out, as we said, to other areas of the universe, people that couldn't make it into that area as quickly, or could not make it because of whatever. And so got amazing responses from other sides of the galaxy and universe, and thousands of very good comments, and it is now being repeated. Since it was recorded and played for the universe and galaxy, it's on a regular rotation, being played in different parts of the galaxy and universe.
Wow.
Just like on your television shows, repeats.
And can everybody get a CD like in the eighth dimension? Can all the whole universe get CDs?
Oh, they sold them. Yes, they sold CDs as people were leaving and as people were coming in. And they even had other little trinkets and souvenirs that people could purchase, and it was very nice. They had a mug or something like what you might call a mug with the picture of the orchestra on it.
Wow, it's just like here.
Yeah.
So what do they do with the money?
Oh, we're going to make more concerts, of course.
You actually get paid.
We actually got paid, and everyone in the orchestra, for the first time, that was the other thing. For the very first time, the orchestra got paid for performing.
Very first time. Wow, that's wonderful. But what do you do with money? Well, you didn't need money.
Well, it wasn't money. It was for a concert like that, you have to, it was units. They paid units, and units are available on many different solar systems and planets. And so instead of money, you got units. Or at least that's what I'll call them here. That's not exactly what they're called, but so we add to each one of the person from their different species that were in the orchestra, whatever units they earned went into their, we piped them into their account.
I see.
Some of them didn't have accounts, so we paid them just right out. But they were all very excited about that, of course.
Wonderful. So these units are used for something just like we use them for food and water.
Correct. They're used in several parts of the galaxy. They're galactic units. Now, for the universe, they would have to, just like on your planet, switch them around to make them valuable somewhere else. But for this galaxy, there are several places in the Milky Way galaxy that will take these galactic units.
Oh. So if I had a unit, I could get it right on a spaceship.
You would have to have, I don't know, each spaceship costs a different amount, but so 3 or 4 units might buy you a space travel.
Something like that. That's what it's used for.
Yes. It depends on how far you're going as well. Maybe 1 unit would just get you to the next planet over, but if you were going any distance, you would have to have several.
Nice. And can you tell me anything about the outcome, any influence, any good points we might get for this on planet Earth for getting out of here? What was the Galactic Federation's meeting about, and the results and the reactions and their feelings?
Well, or you mean toward the music?
Well, yeah, towards the music, and maybe the music influencing their minds about helping us creator beings get out of here.
Well, the thing is, I'm not sure how the music influenced the meeting except for this. More questions were asked at this particular meeting, this particular galactic meeting, than at any other. The human beings, the politicians, asked more questions this time than they have ever asked before. And that is a very positive sign for any meeting, is the interaction of that kind. So that we might have helped spur more questions.
Wonderful. Now, so there were human beings listening to the concert?
Of course.
There were you, and how do they get there?
Well, we played it for, I told you, for 45 minutes. They stopped the meetings and they played the concert at the Galactic meeting.
No, how did the human beings get to the Galactic concert?
They didn't. The Galactic concert came to them. They were sitting there on your planet, and the screen lit up and highlights from the concert were played.
Oh.
And of course, these are the politicians that got to hear the concert. Not all the humans in the world or in your area, but just the politicians around the world that were at the meetings.
So there are politicians on Earth right now who have heard Crystal Magic Orchestra's music.
Yes.
Wow. Do they know who we are?
Yes.
Oh, so I'm known. That's interesting.
Yes, if they want to know who you are, the information is there.
Oh, so they're going to call me up and ask me for some music?
I don't think so. But the thing is, if you pick up an album cover and you look at it, you can have all kinds of information on it. They were given all kinds of information about the concert. So if they chose to read it, they know about it and they know who you are.
So these politicians, they're like the president of the United States and the leader of each country. So our president was at the concert.
Yes, your president just happened to be there at the time when it was being played. Now, your vice president was not there at that time. However, I'm sure that on their monitors, some of them will record it and they will have evidences that it happened. And so it will be part of history from the Galactic meetings for this year.
Was there any discussion at this meeting about maybe the Chicani landing on Earth maybe next year? Did they talk about that kind of thing?
They talked about first contact, yes. And that they did not say who would be landing or what or whatever, but they discussed it in more vague terms. Right now, disclosure is happening with all these. I'm sure you're aware that the military has announced to the world that they've seen UFOs and spaceship and that they have encountered them and they know that they exist. That's worldwide news now.
Oh,
and
worldwide news 20 years ago.
Yes, but now the military is actually on 60 Minutes, CNN, Fox News, and all over the globe.
Oh, so this is the big disclosure thing people are talking about.
Correct.
I don't listen to that stuff because to me it's such old news. I just like, okay, all right.
But the thing is, it's in a forum now that is seen by everyone.
Wow. And so the politicians on Earth that had the meeting, so they interacted through
They're still in the meetings, actually.
Oh, they're still in the meetings. So they are discussing with Galactic Federation First Landing. They're discussing that now.
They're discussing it with many different people. The Galactic government sort of stays sort of silent during these meetings. They let the Earth and the people in the galaxy that wants to speak to the Earth do the talking. They, as the Galactic Federation, are not saying anything. They are there, but they're letting everybody else talk.
And so the politicians on Earth, Are they starting to feel good about allowing the first contact?
That's a good question, because even though there is this first contact coming and happening right now with all this disclosure, one of the things one of the military people said during these 20-minute discussion with about UFOs was that UFOs may be a threat to your skies or to your airspace, which was not a positive thing to say. So that threw a little negativity in there, and we weren't happy about that. But there was a lot of just regular plain facts stated, and unfearfully and very plainly given. So hopefully more people will listen to that.
So it was about 99% positive then, only 1% negative?
Um,
Not,
well, yes, okay, if you want to say it that way.
not that much, at least 75% positive.
Yes, yes. Or
And
neutral, anyway.
and the
I wouldn't
news
say positive, but I'd say neutral.
and the
Was a very neutral fact, just fact